analysis. That's what you get from the other guys. Not here, not now, and not ever. This is the Septa Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA, a look that takes you deep inside the game from a former player's perspective. The Septa Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA, is broadcasting live from Pass and Stowe inside Citizens Bank Park and is brought to you in part by Puss in Boots Tavern, BCWSA, Septa, Penn Community Bank, Independence Blue Cross, and Pat Dion Beverages. We now go live to Citizens Bank Park for the Septa Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, starting pitcher from the 93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene, and Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer.
All right, welcome to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live from the Humeville Inn in Humeville, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host, the great Tommy Greene. Tita, how you doing?
I like the way you say that, Brazer.
The great Tommy Greene?
Yeah, make me feel good about myself.
You are the great Tommy Greene.
Yeah, right. I appreciate it, my friend.
My pal, my bodyguard, my golf companion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like the golf part.
Yeah. We got out there. We got out there just last week, which was fun. And
yeah, I'm still recovering from that physically.
Well, I am too, because I ended up playing tennis that night later.
Yeah, you did say you had to.
And the next couple of days, I was hurting. So I'm not that spring chicken anymore, Tommy.
We needed probably that walking stick to help us get around a little bit after that.
Exactly right. All right. Well, I am. We're here at the Humeville Inn, as I mentioned. I am pulling at Tony LaRussa because I forgot my reading glasses, and I've got reading glasses on my sunglasses.
I just thought you were trying to be cute or cool.
No, yeah. I'm inside. I can actually read with these sunglasses. So if I look like Roy Orbison.
Yeah, that'll work. Or Ronnie Millsap back in the day.
Ronnie Millsap, there you have it. You're really showing your age right there, Tom.
Yeah, well, I could say Stevie, but, you know.
Yeah. All right. We are here, as I mentioned, the Humeville Inn. We're very excited to be here because we were here last year. Jeff Lavin has a great spot here.
Yes, he does.
Has a hometown feel here, and I know the food last time was absolutely fantastic, so can't wait to try.
My stomach, you're making my stomach rumble already.
Especially some of the specials they have here.
Yeah.
Tommy, let
me get the specials up for you.
I'm looking at the Reuben is always good here. I think I got the Reuben last time. I know they got this great Italian wedding soup, but I think what I'm probably going to go for this time is the tenderloin tips tacos with oven roasted chef potato. How about that, and a creamy steak sauce?
Hey,
how about that?
That sounds good, man. Tenderloin. I'm all about tenderloin, man.
I think
about that stuff. All about the meat.
It's between that and the Reuben. I know they got some other stuff here.
I don't know, the kielbasa cheesesteak. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think my cardiologist will let me have that one.
I just saw mine the other day. He was slapping me around a little bit.
But again, great spot. They got homemade food. They have ever-changing IPAs. Recommend this highly. And if you're in the Humeville area, come on down because we'll be here for at least an hour hanging out. So, Tom, we got a great Saturday show lined up today. We'll talk about the week in Phillies baseball, which had some good, had some bad. It had some very bold uniforms. It had some weather issues. But we were able to get through it.
We literally treaded water,
but we got through it. When I looked at the weather report after our last show Sunday, I said, "Man, how can we get through these games?" Because the forecast did not look good, but we were able to get them through. But I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. First of all, we're also going to give away a pair of tickets for the April 19th game. It is a Friday versus the White Sox, section 322, but row 1. Very good seats. You're right on top of the action. And we're going to give away Mike Leisure from WBCB is here. He's going to have people get tickets and put them into, and we'll do a little ticket drawing probably towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that. But Tommy got some great stories too. I'm going to have our stat of the day, which someone had a milestone stat, right? And I'm going to tell you a story about a wife swapping story between two teammates.
Really?
And it wasn't the 93 Phillies.
No, I didn't hear about that one.
Yes. So a gentleman passed away yesterday, and I saw this on the news. I said, oh, my God, I got to bring this one up. It's a little different. So we will.
Wait. Hey, don't you leave me hanging.
Well, I'll get you. I'll get it this segment.
Okay. All right. We got to get that over with.
Remind me at the end of the segment.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go around baseball, gave some news and stats around the league, including big news today that the Phillies will not be seeing Spencer Strider the rest of this year. Poor guy. Now, it said he's having surgery on his ulnar His UCL, but it did not say Tommy John. So
they got the something what they call it, some kind of
like
band.
A replacement type.
Or
not a replacement. Is that?
Well, I don't. It's two types.
Well, it looks like they didn't mention Tommy John in the article, so it looks like that's.
I'll kind of try to find that.
Needless to say, he is out for the year, so it's just another rash of injuries for Major League Baseball, especially some pitchers. We've already seen some other pitchers go down, so we'll hopefully we can knock on wood. And I tell you what, JT, we'll talk about JT yesterday. He got cross-up, right, with Christopher Sanchez.
Smoked.
And he got hit on was it the hand or the wrist?
No, he got hit. He hit his glove hand. It caught him like right there.
On the
then
wrist.
He hit no glove.
Right.
Caught all wrist like right there. That's painful.
Right.
Very painful.
Obviously,
it's like bone on bone.
He was looking for a different pitch. A couple days before,
got crossed up.
Wheeler spikes a ball on the ground and gets him right in the throat. And I was thinking
He's
that
getting beat up, man.
And he plays, a lot. And, I think we've got a good backup catcher, but he plays a lot. And it just got me thinking that, if we were going to lose one guy, knock on wood, but I'm totally knock on wood. But if you're the most invaluable player on the team, I mean, you could make an argument for Zach Wheeler, right? You can make an argument for Alvarado. You can make an argument for obviously Harper, right? But I'm
JT, the way he handles the staff.
Watching these injuries, JT, because again, Garrett Stubbs is fine, but he's obviously a backup for a reason.
Yeah.
But he's a very good backup, so that's great. But with JT, who plays so much, the way he calls the games, the way his arms being either preventative for holding guys on base or throwing them out.
He's an asset.
A total has speed.
He's
and
an asset
bat.
out there for pitchers.
Right. So, if we could probably least, and nothing against any of those other guys I said, if we lose Bryce, that's obviously bad.
Yeah.
But, we could probably make up for a little bit, but not nowhere near Bryce.
Yeah.
Right. But I think if we lost JT, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That
really is tough. I mean.
And just for listeners out there, JT's fine.
Back in the day, I mean, still they probably call it that now. What do we call guys who want to catch? They're willing tools of ignorance. That's the position.
Right.
I mean, because they're getting beat up.
Beat up.
You're making a conscious decision to go back there and just get beat up.
Yep. And JT is getting.
That's why we call it the ignorance part.
Right. All right. Well, let's go through. I want to talk about last night.
Needless to say, the foul tips you catch every now and there.
Right.
Not in a good area.
Right. Right. Exactly. All right. So, because Garrett Stubbs had that happen to him this year.
Man.
All right. Let me talk about.
Unbelievable. It just makes me cringe.
Let's talk about last night because I have to tell you about my my day/night. So it was pretty cool. So yesterday we had a lot going on. We had for anyone who watched the game on TV or was at the game, you obviously saw that we had new uniforms. I brought in my jacket.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I like your jacket. That's about where it stops at. The more I look at it, I'm like.
And the City Connect
I like
hat
the jacket and that.
And the jerseys. Like as I said before, it's grown on me. And
I haven't seen it enough for it to grow on me.
You have to see it live too. Now, again, I said to somebody the other day, I said, who has more, before the game yesterday, I said, who has more pressure? Christopher Sanchez, who's facing the guy, he basically took his place in the rotation. He took Bailey Falder's place in the rotation. So who has more pressure last night? I said, Bailey Falder, who's facing his former team, Christopher Sanchez, right? Any of the players that are struggling right now, or Howard Smith. Now, you might be wondering, who's Howard Smith? Well, Howard Smith is the guy.
I would say Howard Smith.
Howard Smith is the guy in charge of City Connect for the Phillies.
Yeah.
And if the Phillies go,
I've known Howard since 1989, 90.
I don't know how many Friday night games we have. Let's say 12, right?
Yeah.
But he's basically going to be sweating on every Friday because if you remember back in the 90s, we had Blue Hat Night.
Yeah.
And whenever we wore the blue hats, we did not do well. And then people started blaming the blue hats for the losses. So if people start blaming the uniforms,
oh my God.
And I can see the players start saying, if they go 0 for 5 on Friday nights with the uniforms, I can see they're like a revolt saying we're not.
That's like people in golf blaming the golf, blaming the golf club or whatever, or blaming the caddy.
I know, Chris.
It's not that. It's what they say it is. It's not the arrow, it's the Indian.
Right. Well, Chris Ermer blamed his pencil for his bad SAT scores. from what I understand, right?
Hey, he's thinking right now how to get you back.
He is thinking how he's going to get me back. All right, so anyway, they had their first game last night, so we had to make a show of it. Also yesterday, Tommy, was the 20th anniversary of Citizens Bank Park, which is
that's unbelievable.
Pretty unbelievable when you think about it, because it just doesn't seem that long ago that we had the ballpark. I remember vividly the implosion. A lot of us spent the night at the Holiday Inn to get up in the morning for the implosion and watch that thing. And then I remember when we were about 2 weeks from
now the Holiday Inn's gone and got live
that's
there.
Gone, live casino. But I remember 2 weeks before the ballpark was going to open, 2004, I remember we're all sitting there. There was still so much construction. And I remember, and we all worked there, so we're like, how is this going to be ready in 2 weeks? And it's amazing how the construction industry just closes. I mean, talk about a Billy Wagner closing. I mean,
or Mario
Rivera,
Sandman.
And it was amazing. So then, if you remember, we signed Jim Thome in 2003.
Yeah.
The building block. Well, on the mound in 2004, we faced the Reds. We ended up losing 4-1.
Yeah.
But that was 20 years yesterday, exactly the date. And on the mound was Randy Wolf.
Wolfie.
So we flew in Randy, which is great. I took him around.
It's been awesome to see him.
He did a little media appearance. And
what a great guy, man.
He was going to throw out the first pitch, but you know what? He had his son with him. His son's 5. His son came out to the mound with him, and he had his son throw out the first pitch.
Oh, that's cool.
And the son, 5-year-old, threw a little bullet.
Is he left-handed or right?
No, he's right-handed.
Oh, man. I bet the dad's like, dang it.
He's right-handed. So then we had, because if you have Randy Wolf, you have to have the Wolf Pack.
Yeah.
Right? So the Wolf Pack, which is pretty much the first.
Basically, they were there.
The first fan group that Phillies, I think, really ever had. And then that started a whole, Sal's Pals and Padilla's Flotilla and, right? And Levy's Ladies, I guess, and Burl's Girls and Person's People.
I like that one.
Burl's Girls?
Burl's Girls, that's pretty good.
Person's People. Do you like that one?
No. I don't remember that one.
Yeah. But the Wolfpack was the original, the first pack.
We didn't play that game.
Right.
It's.
What would you have, Greenies, Meanies?
I can't say nothing.
How about Greenies, Teenies?
Yeah.
Right? Have little guys out there?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think if we had something.
I don't
like
think
that.
So. There was a guy that.
No, I mean, if anything, Kruk might have had. I mean, he would be the guy.
But I don't think they had
Dalton's, with the ladies, but I don't
remember fan groups because.
We didn't have nothing.
Schilling had a guy.
That's not shocking.
Well, they had a guy. There's a Schillometer. Sorry, Schillometer. And the person would be up there and count the strikeouts when he's up there.
Yeah, that was back in the day. That was probably after me.
Mid-'90s, I think.
Yeah, probably right after I left.
Around the same time. Then there was also a character named Johnny Fresh in Lemon Lime. You remember that? Very infamous character because I was Johnny Fresh and Matt Mailer was Lemon Lime. It was kind of the dark period. Luckily, we don't.
It was a bunch of dark periods.
Luckily, we don't have a lot of footage of Johnny Fresh and Lemon Lime. Although they did make SportsCenter a bunch of times because we had crazy outfits and there wasn't a lot of news coming out of the Phillies those years. So that's what we got.
You have a pretty good way of finding the news. You kind of get in there. Yeah.
But if that's not enough, the City Connect uniforms, Randy Wolf or his son throwing out the first pitch, right? The Wolf Pack. Well, then I saw the Fandemic crew. If you remember them, they were big during the pandemic. The Fandemic crew met the Wolf Pack, so that was kind of funny. 2 groups that were known. And then Tom Burgoyne and I do a podcast, Backstage Burgoyne and Brazer. Highly recommend. Tommy Greene is on an episode. You can go. It's been around for 5 years. But we recorded. We haven't released it yet. We'll release it next week. But we recorded DJ Jazzy Jeff.
How about that?
We had a great interview with the Philadelphia.
All you're missing is the Fresh Prince, right?
Right, with a huge, he's an icon in Philadelphia,
yes,
right?
He
Both
is.
those guys. But we told the whole story about Will Smith, how they became friends, that they met at a house party. And it was funny, so he basically, while Will Smith was Lou Gehrig in the sense that DJ Jazzy Jeff already had a rapper, a stylist, whatever, and they were doing a party, and the guy was late. He didn't show up.
Yeah.
So he was friends with Will Smith, and Will Smith said, I'll fill in. He was so good, and they were friends. He said, that guy, the other guy's getting fired. You're hired, and that's how he. And then
that's how it started.
And then Will Smith got an opportunity to go out, because of the videos they had for summertime, and parents just don't understand. They go out. They had a movie or a TV show script which ended up being Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they didn't think they were going to get into acting, but that got into acting. And then the whole story is just a phenomenal.
Yeah,
then,
it's
not only that,
unbelievable.
but everyone says, well, what happened to DJ Jazzy Jeff? What happened was the guy became a world-famous producer, had a studio, collaborated with all these different musicians, put on festivals, he's just behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes guy that's huge,
so, highly wildly, and what a great guy. So
that's good.
And so he performed after this game last night. He did a post-game party at the Pass and Stowe. So doing a lot of DJing. So it was awesome.
You stayed.
I did.
You stayed later.
Well, I had to wait anyway because the traffic of the Sixers was coming out. They won a big game, which is good to see.
So there was a lot of traffic down there.
So a lot of traffic. So yes, and I had to, I just had him on my
podcast,
podcast, so I got to show him some loyalty, and it was really good. So.
Well, that's good.
All right, Tommy, coming up, we will talk. Well, I guess I messed up. I didn't tell you that story.
Yeah, you got to. Yes.
So I guess I'll lead with a story of some white swapping in Major League Baseball.
Holy
and
cow.
Then I will talk about the fighting Phils for this week. You're listening to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live at the Humeville Inn in Humeville, PA.
The Humeville Inn on Trenton Road in nearby Humeville is your hometown craft beer and pub food establishment since 1997. With daily specials and the best place to catch every Phillies game this season, the Humeville Inn has been consistently named the best bar in the burbs. Check out our homemade food specials changing weekly. The Humeville Inn at the corner of Trenton and Humeville Road in nearby Humeville.
At Penn Community Bank, our commitment to helping our customers and communities grow and thrive drives everything we do. Whether you are just starting out or setting new goals, we have the checking solutions that can flex to your needs at any life stage. And for a limited time, you can earn a $300 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offer subject to change. As for full details, member FDIC.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, prove it.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now's the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
We now return to Citizens Bank Park for the Septa Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene, and John Brazer.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We're live from the Humeville Inn in Humeville, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by Tommy Greene. We also got Chris Ermer here, and you can watch us live at WBCBSports.com or search WBCB Sports on YouTube. You can listen to the show on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, your station in Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County. And Tommy, consider a career at Septa.
Yeah.
Septa is hiring a variety of skilled trade positions, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, millwrights, and more. As a Septa employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including a medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That is jobs.septa.org. All right, Tommy, I know you're waiting with bated breath to hear my story.
Yeah, I want to hear that story. You got my attention when you brought it out.
I said to Chris Ermer, I said, who would have had wife swapping on a baseball show on his bingo card today? But I guess I did. All right, so yesterday, a pitcher at the age of 82, Fritz Peterson, passed away. He was known as the New York Yankee.
Yeah.
Okay? He exchanged wives and children.
Really?
He just spilled his drink when I said
no, yeah, it
and
made
children.
me spill my ice.
Do not try this at home. But he exchanged wives and children with his teammate, Mike Kekich, K-E-K-I-C-H. Okay? The families were hanging out at a former baseball writer, Maury Allen's house in 1972. And apparently that's when the teammates began to fall in love with the other wives. So they had a lot of fun together. They said, let's do it again. So they did it again.
We can go a lot of different directions.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm going
to
keep this clean. But they fell in love with each other's wives. So they agreed in the spring training of 1973 to entirely swap, not wives, families. They swapped families, right? One person, the Peterson who just passed away, remained with his new wife for the rest of his life, while the other guy, Kekich, I guess he got the bad end of the deal, and it didn't last that long.
It's like no, I can't say it.
Don't say it.
No,
Hold off.
Okay.
Hold off. Well, the problem with Kekich is he got sent to Japan during that season. So, he's got a new wife of his former teammate's former teammate's wife is now his wife, and then that wife basically now is going to Japan instead of playing for the Yankees.
Yeah.
But this,
I can't say nothing. Anything I might say might incriminate me. Yeah.
But this pitcher spent 11 years in the big leagues, and he's a top-notch pitcher wearing the pinstripes. So rest in peace to Fritz Peterson. He'll go down in infamy, right?
Yes, he will.
Go down in infamy.
We can't touch that one with a broomstick, dude.
No. By the way, I'll have you know I had restraint twice this week because, as I mentioned, I had DJ Jazzy Jeff on my podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I had a dad joke to tell him, and I had it, and I decided not to say it because I was going to ask him, how do you find Will Smith in a snowstorm? And the answer is, you look for the Fresh Prince, right? Right.
That's a dad joke.
It's a dad joke.
That's a good one.
Right. Now, the other one is I was on
that's good for you. That's good for you.
I was on –
that's a clean one, Braze.
That's a clean one. I was on WMMR this morning, or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And they had Carney Wilson, if you remember.
Yeah. Wilson Phillips.
Carney Phillips.
Yeah.
No, Carney Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes, her dad was Brian Wilson.
Yep.
Right? And Wilson Phillips. Hold On, right? It's a big song. So they had a phone interview with Carney Wilson.
Yeah.
And they finished it, and they said, all right, now we're going to go from music to baseball. We now have John Brazer of the Phillies. Brazer, what's going on? My line was going to be, I've always wanted to follow a Carney, right? And then I just didn't want the Carney Association of America coming after me. But I held restraint. But obviously I'm not holding restraint because I just said it right here on the radio. So I guess now I'm going to have the Carney Association of America, if there is such a thing.
Yeah.
Chris Herman's looking at me. Chris, you a Carney?
You have some dart. Yeah. You gonna have some darts thrown at you, pal.
Right. All right. As I mentioned, we're gonna have 2 tickets for the April 19th game on Friday versus the White Sox. Mike Leisure from WBCB will be going around, and people can enter here at the Humeville Inn to win those tickets. Section 322, row 1. So pretty good right there, and very good seats. And, Tommy, it's time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. And this is not Phillies related. We're going to go around baseball.
You've always had some pretty good ones. Of recent past, you've had some pretty good ones.
Well, this is more of a milestone. It's not a odd. I would like to call it a Jason Stark stat. I love his stats. They just but this one is Shohei Ohtani. Right, he's been in the news a lot, unfortunately, because of his interpreter.
How about that?
Mizuhara, who stole $16 million.
That's a good stat.
To cover gambling debts. That's not the stat that I was going to get.
Wow.
But $16 million. Man, that's, I guess you better be friends with Ohtani if you're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't think I'm coming to you.
I don't think he was that good, friend.
Yeah, and you can't borrow that from me. So
no.
I'll give you $16.
No, yeah.
All right, but Ohtani last night tied Hideki Matsui for the most home runs by a Japanese-born player in the major leagues with 175.
75,
Yep. And
with, how many less at bats? Almost 2,000, right? Less at bats.
A lot less at bats. But he started off slow, Ohtani, but he is 16.
He's been hurt. Yeah.
He's 16 for his last 35 with 12 extra base hits and 4 home runs. And his OPS is now 1.098.
Yeah.
So
he went through a stretch there. At the beginning, his first surgery and stuff, where he didn't play for a while.
Right.
So it's hard to say. That guy, he's freakish.
Yeah.
His ability, because he's a huge guy. He's
huge.
Big, man, and can run.
Yeah, and he's right up there with Harper and Soto and Acuna and Trout, for all the best players in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm missing, Mookie Betts and
Mookie Betts,
Freddie Freeman.
That guy right there.
There's tons of other
freakish, because he's not a big dude that is doing what he does. He's he's an athlete.
But yes, there's a lot of superstars in the game, and then you even look at the Orioles and some other teams. They got these young players, the Diamondbacks. They got these young players that you're going to be hearing about pretty soon, including a guy that just got called up by the Orioles, Jackson Holliday, Matt Holiday's son.
How about him getting the number 7?
Yeah,
Ripken. How about that? The family they agreed to it. They want him to have it. Which is
that's a lot of pressure, man.
Billy was the last one that wore it. That was his dad's number.
That's a lot of pressure right there, right?
I know
but look, it's funny when they called him up. There's a lot of news and video footage.
Well, that kid's been playing under pressure his whole life.
Well, they showed him as when Matt Holliday was in the All-Star game. They showed Jackson Holliday hitting a bat. You could tell his swing at 2 years old was pretty pure.
Well, they imitate their dads, and obviously he was around the ballpark a lot and watching
and I'm sure
the best in the business do it.
And obviously the access, with baseball, I'm sure he was hitting from cages. I'm sure they probably even had a cage in his house.
Well, Dad,
right?
His dad was no slouch hitter himself.
No, not at all.
Freaking could hit that dude.
So that is that. Again, Ohtani tied Hideki Matsui for most home runs by a Japanese-born player in the Major Leagues, 175. And that was your Phillies Smart Stat of the Week. Once again, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice in payroll services. Call them again at 1-866-PAY-EASY.
Oh, Danny boy, I'm going to be with him this week.
I know you are.
In AC, we'll have have a good time down there with him and Payroll Service Solutions.
Well, let's talk about, tell Dan I said hi, let's talk about the week in baseball with the Fighting Phils.
Yep.
All right. Sunday we had a game.
Yep.
Or we had our show, and then there was a game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to blame this on you on this loss because Mackenzie Gore pitched into the 6th inning.
And now tell who Mackenzie Gore is.
And the Nationals beat the Phils 3-2 to avoid the series sweep.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie Gore, the reason why I'm putting it on this on Tommy Greene is because they went to the same high school, and Tommy actually gave him pitching tips back in the day when he was a prospect.
Well, I saw him when he was like 12 or 13, 12.
Yeah, but those pitching tips you gave him at 12 years old enabled him to defeat the Phils on Sunday.
Hey, I think the Phils defeated themselves a little bit right there.
Yes, they did. They pitched. Mackenzie Gore pitched 5-hit ball. He went into the 6th inning, and then Lane Thomas, who we got him the first 2 days. He didn't do anything, but he stole 3 bases and scored the go-ahead run, and we end up losing the game.
There was a positive.
There
was a positive. Runners in scoring position. We were 1 for 1.
Yes, that's a very good positive. And
that was the only shot we had, and we did it.
And we only left 2 guys on base, but that's saying we didn't have a lot of traffic on the base. And Sanchez, not bad, gave up 3 earned runs. So
it's been a little bit. He hasn't been quite as sharp, and I'm gonna say sharp. The problem that I've seen the last couple outings that cost him, the walks have hurt him.
Yes,
not that he's walked a lot. It's just when he's walked them,
and he's
hurt him.
And he's had good control. Before
last year was unbelievable.
Yes, great control. But yes, and then even we'll get into last night's game.
Yeah.
But last night's games kind of fell apart.
And give some kudos to that game too. Our bullpen kept us right there in it for the rest of the game to give us a chance to squeak out and possibly score the tying run, maybe win it. And it just didn't happen.
Marte, Strom, Sir Anthony, all scoreless innings. So so we don't complete the sweep, but we did get off to a good start.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Nope,
I'll take that.
We'll take that
every
too.
series.
And we got off to a good start, even though we blew a lead. But we got off to a good start in the Cardinals series.
Yeah.
But we needed Bohm's RBI double in the 10th.
How about that?
Yes, which was huge.
Serious fighting fields right there.
Ryan Helsley. And Ryan Helsley, if you remember, 2022, when we had to win that big game against the Cardinals, the first game in the playoffs.
That dude's got a good arm, man.
Yes, he does. But remember, we got to him that game, and obviously Bohm's big hit. And then Stott followed up with a sacrifice fly.
Yeah.
So that was big because, again, we had a lead late, and then we basically rallied for 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th off Jeff Hoffman. But
hey, man, you got to give the kudos to your starting pitcher.
Yep.
Turnbull.
Yeah, Spencer Turnbull, and he's going today.
He had 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs. I mean, you can't ask for any better job than he's doing.
You really can't.
He stepped in and do it.
1 walk, 6 Ks, 2 hits, 6 innings.
They might have to make a decision here shortly.
Well, you're right, because right now Taijuan Walker is in a rehab.
Yeah. He's not going to be back fully. He's got to get stretched out.
He's got to get stretched out to a little bit. But I can't tell you what, if Turnbull keeps pitching well, what do you do? Because you've got Walker for a couple more years, and you got him with a big contract.
Well, Sanchez is the one, and if he keeps throwing like he is, or do you move Sanchez or somebody to the bullpen and keep them there so you can use them? Yeah.
Or do you do a 6-man rotation and do a 6-man? Now you have a lot of days off, so that's probably not necessary. But
nothing would shock me in the way things are being done now.
Right.
As far as the way they're trying to do things with pitching now. They're going to try to reinvent the wheel with all the injuries and stuff they had. That'll be the next thing, trying to do that. The workload.
Yep.
Go to a 6-man, see if that helps and cut down on injuries.
Yep.
It's not. It's not.
I know. We talked about it before. You think it's velo and the spin rate.
There's a lot of things go into it, and I think
and
Aaron Nola had and if you saw that article about what he was saying,
had
a lot of good things. And
where he basically
hits on things.
He knew he was going to be going long, and he basically didn't throw everything out there in the very beginning. He kind of knew he was going to pace himself to get through.
Well, it's that, but the wet mound, slippery a little bit. He didn't try to
overstride.
Right. When you do that, you're shortening things up a little bit, and it's not quite as hard. It's about command. It's about getting people out, man.
Right. Yep.
And there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Right.
You don't have to throw 100 to get people out.
Yep.
It's about command. So, it's if you command what you do, you get people out.
All right, and to wrap up that game, the good news offensively was Marsh had a good game. He had a home run, and then Turner had 3 hits. So good to see there.
How about Rojas?
And Rojas. I didn't even mention Rojas. Yes.
3 for 4, man.
Rojas. How about that?
You got to give some love to him.
Yep. Hopefully
because he's on the slizard for a long time.
And he's been on the bench a couple of days, but he's going to be in the lineup today.
Yep.
All right, Tommy, coming up in the show, we'll talk about the rest of the homestand. You're listening to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live from the Humeville Inn in Humeville, PA.
Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now's the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
The Humeville Inn on Trenton Road in nearby Humeville is your hometown craft beer and pub food establishment since 1997, with daily specials and the best place to catch every Phillies game this season. The Humeville Inn has been consistently named the best bar in the burbs. Check out our homemade food specials changing weekly. The Humeville Inn at the corner of Trenton and Humeville Road in nearby Humeville.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
We now return to Citizens Bank Park for the Septa Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene and John Brazer.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA. We are live from the Humeville Inn in Humeville, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host Tommy Greene. Tommy, I'm very excited because I put in an order through our man Mike Leisure. Got a little BLT in their homemade Italian wedding soup.
That is you right to the BLT. You tend to go that.
Well, it's kind of breakfast, little
BLT,
breakfast lunch type thing.
You're a grilled cheese BLT type guy sometimes I see.
Yeah. And I think it's a perfect time for it, right? A little cloudy outside.
I'm going to get me some chili afterwards.
By the way, Charlie Manuel is up the street, I heard.
Oh, so, Chucky, man.
How about that? I was with Charlie and Larry Boa last night.
What a great guy, man.
Yeah. Did I tell you that I said –
Hey, you're a fly on the wall listening to them talk about baseball. It's unbelievable.
I was – last year I have dinner with them a lot because up in the press room they kind of hang in the back table. And if they have a free space –
You do a pretty good impression, by the way.
I usually go tell you what. So I sat with them. I sat with them a couple of years ago, or last year I think, and I said, hey, I saw you guys on TV last night. They're like, where? The Phillies game? I said, no, I was watching the Muppets when those 2 old guys are up in the balcony and they're yapping at each other. I'm like, that's Charlie and Larry.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Well, Tom, it's a big day in sports because a big weekend in sports. Because I know we're looking at, as we're at the Humeville Inn, a lot of TV's going on. It looks like there's some old football games.
Yeah.
And replay of the Sixers. They have a big game tomorrow in terms of its seedings. So they play the Brooklyn Nets.
They need to win, period.
They need to win, but they need some help, too, if they want to advance to a higher seed and avoid that play-in game, because they don't want to play in a play-in game. I don't think they want to play in a play-in game.
No.
And it helps
That's
the seedings.
never fun.
Yeah, so I think if you get the 6th seed, of which they're trying to get, I think they can possibly even get the 5th seed if it works out. No? 6th seed only? If they do
that was from the great Chris Irmer, by the way.
Yeah, if they get the sixth seed, they won't have to play the Celtics until the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
which would be big. But also there's the Frozen Four in hockey's going on.
Yeah,
Boston College versus Denver.
Okay.
I know lacrosse. I gotta.
You got everything going on.
You want to
Brazer.
hear a weird streak? Now this is
you
probably
played sports I never even thought of.
Yeah, I know. So Virginia lacrosse has won the national championship. Has been really good. We've lost 18 straight regular season games to Duke. 18 straight. It's preposterous that we're always one of the top teams in the country.
Yeah, but you can't beat Duke.
And they can't beat Duke. They play tomorrow. But more important to the listeners out there, the Masters. The Masters going on right now.
How about that? That's a bucket list place.
It is a bucket list. I've never played.
I just like to see it.
I've never been there. At one point, I will go there. I'd have to probably wait till I leave the Phillies because it's right in the middle of the Phillies season. But Tiger Woods makes the cut. Would you have thought that?
How about that? And people don't realize. I've known people that have seen that place, and they come back and told me, he says, you don't realize how hilly that place is just walking around there.
Yep.
And he's got to do that. I mean, obviously he's put forth a lot of work and effort to be able to get himself physically to be able to do that.
And yet he still says he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah. So it's amazing what you can do, what you get used to, and what you can handle a little bit. And he's that type of guy. It just shows you what type of player he is. I mean, because that's not an easy course, is the way they got it.
No, and they've got
with the wind blowing like it is.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see. That you don't get first-time guys, winning the tournament.
Yeah.
And that was it. Edberg. Is that his name? Edberg.
Swedish.
Yes.
Aber or something like that.
So he's in the running. I know Max Homa.
ABERG or something like that.
And then obviously Scotty Scheffler is there too. So it'll be really interesting to see.
I like Aber. He's a good story. They did a thing on him this morning. I was seeing on that about the Swedish and how he grew up and how they practice and back then. I mean, it was just like at a local school. They had a pretty good school that's brought out some quality golfers, LPGA and PGA guys.
Yeah, well, you definitely get some guys from Scandinavia, the Scandinavian countries. Obviously, Sweden's put out a lot of guys.
Yeah, a lot of indoor practice in those places.
But DeChambeau is up there. DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Haygaard, Morikawa.
Yeah.
So it's actually
you got Scheffler right there,
has a big international blend to it, too. So then you've got Cameron Davis from Australia, Tommy Fleetwood from England. So
I like Tommy Fleetwood. He's one of those guys I root for because he's just a good dude that's been around. He's got good game. It's just like golf. It's just like anything. It's when you get hot.
Right.
Are you hot at the right times?
Exactly right.
Because they go through. They're there for a reason. They can play. It's if they get hot at the right time, it can do some damage.
Yep.
It's who's hot.
All right, Tommy, consider a career at Septa. Septa relies on and needs bus operators, train engineers, and conductors. As a Septa employee, you will earn competitive compensation, great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org. And I see Mike Leisher putting together the tickets because somebody here at the Humeville Inn is going to win 2 tickets for April 19th. It's a Friday night versus Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are hurting. They lost Louis Robert Jr. They lost Moncada. So they're
hurting.
They were already kind of.
I'd like to have that. I'd like to have the guy they're using for a closer right now, Kepka or something like that.
Right.
Kopech.
Okay, you all right?
Yeah.
You choking on something?
Yeah, I mean, Kopech. I mean, but he used to be a starter, and he's one of those guys that I think will end up being pretty good at that his mentality and stuff like this come around. So it's new for him to do it, but I'll be interested. Hopefully we don't see him.
Yes. Hopefully,
when he comes in.
Well, Tommy, we're not even going to talk about the Sonny Gray game against the Cardinals because we lost 3-0, and that was ugly. And that's
you got to say why it was ugly and why
the weather was bad.
Okay, we had opportunities. Look at the runners in scoring position.
And what was that number?
0 for 8.
Yes, not good.
No,
and
we didn't hit.
There was strikeouts galore too. It was just an ugly
13 punch outs.
Ugly game. So all right, coming up, we will talk about. We'll get you set up for today's game. 4:05. We'll get you set up for today's game, and we'll talk more baseball. You're listening to the Baseball Insiders Show presented by BCWSA. We're live from the Humeville Inn in Humeville, PA.
Community Bank, our commitment to helping our customers and communities grow and thrive drives everything we do. Whether you are just starting out or setting new goals, we have the checking solutions that can flex to your needs at any life stage. And for a limited time, you can earn a $300 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offer subject to change. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
The Humeville Inn on Trenton Road in nearby Humeville is your hometown craft beer and pub food establishment since 1997, with daily specials and the best place to catch every Phillies game this season. The Humeville Inn has been consistently named the best bar in the burbs. Check out our homemade food specials changing weekly. The Humeville Inn at the corner of Trenton and Humeville Road in nearby Humeville.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
We now return to Citizens Bank Park for the Septa Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene and John Brazer.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insiders Show, presented by BCWSA. We are live from the Humeville Inn in Humeville, PA. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host Tommy Greene. Tommy, we are about to do the drawing to see who's going to win. What patron here at the Humeville Inn is going to win 2 tickets for the April 19th game? That's Friday night versus the White Sox, Section 322, Row 1. Pick
a good one, Brazer.
All right, I'm going to pick it going deep into the barrel. And here's the number right here for anybody who's here.
Everybody get your tickets out.
Get your tickets out right now, because whoever has the number, and come on up here and see Mike Leisure. The ticket number 1155313. That's 1155313. All right. Whoever won that.
Oh,
whoa! All right.
Yeah.
Go see that man right there, and you get free tickets to April 19th, Friday night, White Sox, Section 322, Row 1. All right.
We have sweet.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Young girl won that. Very good. And it's 2 tickets.
Now you got to take your. Remember we talked about when I met you earlier. You got to take your boyfriend with you now.
there you have it. That's great.
I know your dad don't like that, but hey, it's okay.
All right, and I got to thank again Jeff Lavin for having us out here at the Humeville Inn. This is such a great spot.
Yes, it is. Great crowd.
Can't wait to get my homemade Italian wedding soup.
You're not going to be able to make it through the last segment if you keep talking about it.
I know. All right. Well, Tommy, guess what? If we go down the minor leagues, Scott Kingery last night, guess what he did?
Don't tell me he hit for the cycle, did he?
He homered twice.
Oh, did he?
Yep. He walked 3 RBIs. So there's another guy, Jordan Luplow, who we got in a trade. He also had a home run and a couple hits. So
I'd like to see somehow Scotty just find a way to get on the roll a little bit. And
well, it's just
not that he might end up back up here, but somewhere else.
Right.
You know? I think it'd be a good story.
Well, it's good to have depth, and we've got some guys down in the minor leagues. Aiden Miller, our draft pick last year, has had a couple home runs. And he is just a pure hitter. I think that really the only reason why we were able to get him is he had a hamate injury.
Yeah.
And that's why he kind of fell to us so long.
He was drafted, last year, correct?
He was drafted last year. And there's a guy, Matt Kroon. Matt Kroon is an outfielder, very versatile. He's much like, the couple of guys that he's almost like a Nick Maton or almost like a Matt Vierling, where he's very versatile. He can play different positions, and he just hits. He's a hitting machine. So
some people have a knack, man.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good thing to have.
So watch that name as well. All right, here's the lineup for today. So for Pittsburgh, you got O'Neal Cruz leading off.
How about that guy?
Yep, he's
huge.
Yeah, and he reminds me kind of the Reds guy. You know, what's the Reds guy? The young guy as well.
I know. I mean, yeah.
All right.
I know who you're talking about.
Then you have Bram Reynolds batting second, another good player.
Yeah.
Cabrian Hayes, Charlie Hayes' son. And then batting fourth, you've got Jack Sawinski. You have Olivares, who is Edward Olivares, who is batting fifth, DHing. Rowdy Tellez is playing first base. And then you got not your regular Joe or average Joe, but Connor Joe.
Yeah.
He is playing right field, batting seventh. Henry Davis, a big prospect coming up. He is catching. And then we have Williams, which his first name is Alika. Alika Williams is batting ninth.
Yeah.
So against Turnbull, see if any of these guys, only 2 guys have faced him. And the good news, Bram Reynolds and Rowdy Tellez. And they
moved Joe for him. Joe was leading off the other night, wasn't he? He's batting 318. He's down in the 7 hole.
He's down in the 7 hole. But the only 2 guys that have faced Turnbull are Bram Reynolds and Tellez, who are 0 for 7 combined. So
well, stay hot.
We'll
stay
see.
Right there.
But Turnbull's got to just, if he keeps, he's got really good stuff. Obviously, he threw a no-hitter in the past. And for him, it's all about command. So we'll see. All right. So for the Fightin' Phils lineup, we got Schwarber leading off. We have Trey Turner playing short. We got Bryce Harper playing first base. You got Bohm playing third in the cleanup spot. Castellanos, fourth, in the cleanup spot. Castellanos batting fifth, right field. Sosa playing second base, going second base. And as we talked about, I think this guy JT needs a break. So Garrett Stubbs will be in today, batting seventh, catching. Christian Pache is batting eighth, playing left field. And Rojas is back in the lineup. Against Gonzalez, there are some guys that have had.
He's a left-handed pitcher. So
left-handed pitcher. So you got Schwarber.
Giving Stott a day off.
Yep. Schwarber is 1 for 4 against Gonzalez. Turner 0 for 2. Harper looks like really hasn't had I guess he must have walked because he's 0 for 0, but he's got an RBI.
Yeah.
Bohm's 0 for 2. Castellanos, maybe this is a game that gets him going because Castellanos is 4 for 11 off him. Sosa is 1 for 2 with a home run. The only one in the lineup with a home run against him. Stubbs is not batted against him. Probably the reason why you're seeing Pache in the lineup is he's 4 for 7 off him, 571 average, and then Rojas is not facing him.
Merrifield, we need him to like him. Yeah, I mean, get going. He's the guy we need to get going.
Right now, he'll be coming off the bench today.
Yeah, I mean, just to get him in, this is a guy that we need, to get going because he's going to play. But he's not hitting right now like he has in the past.
Well, he's had 2 starts. Markin Gonzalez, again, a left-hander. He faced Baltimore. Actually, the first game was on April Fool's Day, April 1st. Faced the Nationals. Team won 8-4. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Against Baltimore, who's got a good offense, really good offense. He went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. So pretty good so far. So we'll see. He is a 32-year-old pitcher. He's been around. So it's not like he's a young pitcher. He was with if you might remember, he came up with the Cardinals in 2014. And then the reason why you might not know him is he was out in the West Coast for a long time. He was with Seattle for many years.
Yeah.
So
I knew the name. I remembered the name a lot. So it's I haven't done the research.
Yeah, he's a career 65-49 record.
He's been around a while.
He's got a career 4.12 ERA. Now again, 0 this year.
That's quality, man.
2 starts, 2.45. But the last 3 years. Last year he had a 5.22 ERA. The year before that, 4.13. The year before that, 3.96. So he's not. He's not a
slouch.
Not a slouch, but he's also not lighting the world on fire either. So we'll have to see.
People don't get it. Doesn't take but a bad game or two, and it messes up your numbers.
Yep.
I mean, so you got to check some of that at the door.
Yep, I agree.
Unless you're watching at him all the time. Guy's been around in the big leagues for a reason for a while. So I mean, he's out there. So.
By the way, at today's game, I should say, this afternoon's game, we have 2 bands. We got Mount Joy, who 2 of the guys went to Conestoga. They're coming to the game today. They played a charity event last night for Zach and Julie Ertz Foundation. And then also, I've become friends with the saxophonist from Los Lobos, La Bamba. So Tom Burgoyne.
You're just a jack of all trades,
Tom Burgoyne, the best friend of the Fanatic, and myself will be going to see Los Lobos tonight in Collingswood, New Jersey. So very excited. All right, and that wraps up today's Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA, live from the Huonville Inn in Huonville, PA. I'd like to thank Jeff Lavin, the great staff here at the Huonville Inn. Thanks also to my co-host Tommy Greene, our on-site engineer Chris Ermer, back in the studio Stephen Lawler, and we'll be back tomorrow from 12:30 to 1:30 at Citizens Bank Park for the Phillies take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Until then, have a great night. And as the late, great Harry the K says,
we're out of here.